Hi all, welcome to the channel, welcome to the workshop. So we now have the next 6 issues of Build Brian's Nissan Skyline from the Fast and Furious franchise. If you want to get this for yourself, it is still available I believe, all the way from pack 1 from fanhome, and there'll be links in the description below. Now today we are going to be working on the interior again and a little bit more of the engine. So let's get into it, let's get building. Right, so before I kick off on this build, I just want to address that I've seen a lot of complaints and things about Yodel and everyone blaming fanhome for changing to Yodel. Now, personally, this is my second package from Yodel, and as you can see, it's arrived absolutely fine. It's probably in better condition than when Royal Mail delivered them, to be fair. And I know everyone was slating fanhome about changing to Yodel, etc. But every company, every courier company is going to have their issues, and everyone's going to have their own bad stories, etc. But personally, from my point of view, I don't think I've ever had a bad delivery from Yodel. So I, for one, am happy for fanhome to use Yodel. And if it helps them to be more sustainable, I don't know if they're getting cheaper rates with Yodel or what. But as you can see, this has arrived absolutely fine. And the contents also absolutely fine. And today we did get our license plate, so we've got another one of our free gifts. Again, pressed metal. And if I just get this open, and we have it looking just like so. Again, another one for the wall. But as you can see, everything in here is absolutely fine. It's all nicely well packed. It's not shaking around loose in the box, etc. All the components, etc., are all individual packed as well. So I, for one, really happy that it's using Yodel. And the best bit is that they give you tracking now. So a couple of days before the package arrives, I know when it's going to arrive. I know what day it's due on. So that's another bonus that I never knew when packages were going to arrive from Royal Mail. It just turned up and then got, well, with Royal Mail, they almost just got kicked through the door. But Yodel, very good. Right, kicking off with issue 27. And just give you a quick flick through. And as you can see, all that we got this time is the driver's seat harness. And we are actually putting it through the seat, and we're attaching the seat to the interior. Right, so we've got the interior. We have the driver's seat looking just like that. And we have our harness with it looking like that. We've got a couple of details on there. Now what we need to do, we've got 4 little lugs here. And it's these first 2 at the front that we need to look at first. Now, I have had a little bit of a play with this and look for the instructions. The instructions will tell you to put that like that and then try and get the seat through. This bolster doesn't fit through that seat belt very well. So what I suggest you do is get the seat roughly in place and get it over the top of that part there, like so. And then get it onto the other lug on this side. So you got something that looks like that. Now, once we've done that, we're going to take our straps, making sure that they are not twisted or anything. And we're going to place them through the holes, like so. You just want to make sure that those buckle details actually are further down, like that. Same with this one. Just pull that down and then push those through like so. Now, those other lugs that we had at the back here, we're going to push these ones over the top of there and there. So we've got all of those 4 now on those lugs like that. Once we've got all those in place, we're just going to line up the seat with the holes in the interior chassis. Going to flip it over, and we're going to use 4 AP screws to secure that in place. So we've got that looking just like so. And we can obviously just tweak this and move these belts, etc., just so that it lines up nicely. And again, these little buckle pieces can be moved as well. So I just grab one and just move it down slightly. So you've got those looking like that. And that is all there's to do in that stage. So moving on to issue 28. And we have the roll cage this time. And we're just putting that in. And that's it for this one. So bringing back our interior over, we have our roll cage. We have 2 notches up here. And we want to make sure those notches face towards the back. It's just going to sit in these 2 holes. And we're just going to use 2 EP screws to hold that in place. Got one in there. And one just going in there, like so. So we've got our roll cage looking just like that. And that's all there's to do in that stage. So moving on to 29. And we've got the gearbox assembly. So we've got quite a bit to do, it looks like, just to assemble that gearbox. It looks like the outputs for the drive shafts as well. And first thing we're going to need is this piece here. This is the one with the large section on the front. And we need our starter motor. And this has got a key-shaped pattern, and we've got a key shape there. So what we're going to do, just attach that like so. And we're going to use an AP screw to secure that in place. Again, just making sure that pattern lines up properly. Holding it in place. And then using this AP screw to hold that tightly, like so. I'm going to keep hold of that assembly, and we're going to attach it to the back of the engine. So we've got 2 lugs here and this little slot, or this little tab, which is going to go for the slot on there. Like so. We've got 2 AIM screws to go into there, and 2 EP screws to go in the bottom there. Like so. We then need our drive shaft looking just like this. And it does have a thick and thin end. We're going to have the thick end up this end, with a narrower end down the bottom. And we're going to secure that in place with the other half of the gearbox housing. So just going to pinch that in like so. And we've got 5 EP screws to hold that in place. And then I'm just going to grab my slightly longer reach screwdriver just so we can get down into these holes with the last 2. We then need to put this piece on there, and we need to hold it in with a single SM screw. That's going in just there. That's going to sit just in like so. And we're going to use this piece to close in that section. We're going to have another SM screw. Just going in there. And then we also have an AP screw, which is going to go into the shaft here. Last thing for this side of the engine, we have this pipe, and it's going to go into the hole just there. And it's just a push fit. Give it a wiggle. Yeah, I pushed all the way like so. And then on this side of the engine, the last piece we've got to go in is this piece here. That's just going to sit over like so. And we're going to secure that with an AM screw. And that's in there like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Right, we now have issue 30. And I think the rest of this build pack is just all engine. So we've now got this, all this section. It looks like all the pulleys, etc. And then we've got to build up the front of the engine, looks like a couple of belts. And we have that at the end of it. So the first bit we need is this one. There is two that look very similar. This one is labeled number 1. I don't know if you can pick that up on camera, but there is a number 1 on there. And that is just going on to the shaft there. And we're going to follow that up with this piece, and that's just going to push into the end there, like so. And then we need to make up another pulley with these 3 parts. So we've got this flat piece, then we've got this piece here with a flat piece on the one side, and then we've got this piece that's got details on both sides. So we end up with something that looks like that. And all of those 3 are going to go onto the spindle just here, like so. I'm going to secure that with a QM screw. Now, this is a tiny screw, so just using a smaller screwdriver bit, and that's in there like that. Next, we're going to make up another couple of pulleys. So we've got this one here, some detail on the front, and a hole in the back. And we've got this one that looks like a couple of spinning tops. And we're just going to push that together. See which way it fits best. So it goes that way around best, with that little bit of detail on the outside. And then we've got this one as well, and that's just going to sit together like so. This is the one that has the number 2 on it. And they're going to go onto the spindle and into the hole respectively. So this one with the hole at the back is going to go onto this spindle. So just making sure I'm not pushing that too hard. And that's going on like that. And then this one's going in just there, like so. And we have yet another pulley, same system. So we have a push-in fit like so. And that one is going in the hole just there, like so. And then we have a silver one to make up. And again, same procedure. We've got a hole in the back of this one, and the shorter of the two pegs, that's going to push in like so, and then that's going to push into here. Just like that. And now I'm going to run some of our belts. So we've got the smaller one first. That's going to go around the bigger wheel, and then round this one and round this one. That's round the back of that larger one. And then round the other pulleys, we've got this larger belt. And again, that's going to go around that bigger one, which is the front of it, round there, and round that one. So basically the four that are left. Looking just like that. And the last thing we're going to be doing for this one is grabbing our fan, and that's just going to push onto there like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Right, so we're now moving on to issue 31. And just flick through the magazine again. We've got injectors and fuel lines. Got a radiator there as well, it looks like. But looks like we're not doing anything with the radiator at this point. Right, so the first thing we have to do, we have this piece here and this pipe. We just need to link them together. And just have a look at the orientation. It looks like it goes this way. And just pushed in like that. So the bend going this way and that junction going off that way. This is then going to go onto our engine. And it's going to flip over like that and go into the hole just at the end of this rail here. I'm just going to use my tweezers just to push that in place, like so. Next up, we have these little injector fuel injectors, I guess. They got a little Y-shaped pattern on. Now, if I look through the next few steps, the instructions say we need to put all of 6 of these in, and they're going to go into the holes you see just along here. And then we've got to put 2 pipes on. Now we've got a set of short pipes and a set of long pipes, looking just like that. What I'm going to do, because I think it's going to be easier and less likely to break anything, I'm actually going to put the pipes on first. So on one of these little forks, we need a long pipe, and on one of the forks, we need a short pipe. So we'll have something that looks like that. You do that 6 more times, so I'll do that now. Right, so that's 6 of those done. It's worth noting we do have a spare, so if you do end up breaking one, then you've got one as a spare. Now, all of these need to go into the holes you see here on this manifold. And what we need to do, we need to have a short pipe going into the red one, and the long pipe needs to go into the blue one. So I'm just going to start with the center one, just because I think that's probably going to be the easiest option. And I'm just going to use a pair of tweezers just to get that lined up and pushed in that. I'm just going to use this little spudger tool just to push that down fully. And then we've got the shorter one on the inside and the longer one on the outer side. So if I just show you this one, and then I'll do all the other 5. So we've got the shorter pipe going just onto that red injector, like so. And then we've got the longer one just going onto the blue one. Like so. So we've got that like that. So short one onto the red one, longer one onto the blue one. I'm going to do that 5 more times. Right, so now, as you can see, all of those are now in there. And that is all there's to do in that stage. So we're leaving the radiator in that for the next stage. Right, last one for the build pack, issue 32. And again, just quick flick through, and we've got the radiator and firewall. Now, in this issue, we've only got the firewall, but from the previous issue, we do have the radiator to do. So, first step for the radiator, we need to push these two parts together, and they've got a couple of locating lugs, and they just push together like so. And then have the fan surround, and that's going to also go over those two lugs and sit just like that. And then you've got 2 AP screws to hold that in place. And apologies if you can hear the aircon running behind me, but it is about 35 degrees in the workshop at the minute. The sun has been shining all day and it's absolutely scorching. Right, so that's that done. We now need the lower part of the radiator. We've got a couple of lugs here, and that's going to sit on just like that. And we've got a couple of LP screws to hold that in place. And they're quite tiny screws, but long screws, so we are going to need a slightly smaller screwdriver bit. And they're just going to go in there. And in there. We're going to finish off the radiator with these two parts. And we've got a little D-shaped hole here. We've got a D-shaped hole in this, and we've got a D-shaped plug there. So what we're going to do, we're just going to make sure that everything matches up correctly. So that D-shaped plug is going to go on there like that. And then we're going to push that into here like so. So we've got that in there like that. And this little arm, or I guess it's probably going to be a pipe or something that'll come off there. It's coming off this direction. That's what we need to do with the radiator. Now, moving on to the parts we actually did get with this issue. We've got a wiper motor and the firewall. And the wiper motor is going to go just here. We do have a key-shaped pattern, and that's just going to sit on there like so. I'm going to use an AP screw to hold that in place. So just screwing that one in there, like so. And that's what that is looking like. And that is all there's to do in that stage, and all there is to do in that build pack. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please remember to give a big thumbs up. So that's the Skyline done for another month, and looking pretty good. So we've got the interior done like that. I'm sure we're going to have the NOS tanks to go there at some point in the near future. The engine is looking absolutely fantastic. Now we've got the gearbox and we've got that drive shaft attached. And we've also got the 2 points there attached where the drive shafts are going to come out for the wheels. But I don't think there's going to be much more we can add to that engine. It looks fairly complete, but we'll see how that progresses. If you want to get this for yourself, there will be links in the description below, as I said. I don't know if it's still available. I believe it still is available from Fanhome currently, but do check your local territories, and it'll be either due to come out, is out, or ready for release. So if you want to see more of how this one progresses, or anything else that goes in the workshop, please do remember to hit the subscribe button and ding that bell, and then you'll be notified when I release new videos. And it really does help the channel out. Until the next time, I'll see you around. Cheers.